It was the first rock and roll concert I'd ever been to. My mom and dad took me. And it's something I talked about a lot in my career. I mean, even like when I went back to school, a month later, wow, you wouldn't believe I saw a riot. This Beatlemania stuff at Cleveland Stadium. It was just out of control. And it's something I talked about all through the years. And I started seeing other books by the Beatles, and people were interested in this story. And, I just kind of wrote it for myself. And the next day I started getting emails from people like, wow, can you tell us more? Or I was there, this is what I remember. And it just kind of snowballed after that. I kept adding things. In 1964, when they played at Public Hall, they had different limos going around the city all day as decoys. So no one knew when they were going to actually arrive, go to Public Hall. And it was the same thing at Cleveland Stadium. I was there when 4 limos came through the right field fence, or the gate in right field, and everybody, of course, the girls were all screaming. It was like standing next to a jet going off. But they pulled up from the stage, then one limo, all 4 Beatles got out of that. The other 3 had just been decoys. In 1966, they really couldn't do their latest songs because that album that came out that we saw when we went to Cleveland Stadium to see them, their new album was Revolver. And it had these great songs like Eleanor Rigby and Good Day Sunshine, and they really couldn't reproduce those on stage. It wouldn't sound the same. So they did a lot of the older numbers. They did rock and roll music, Day Tripper, songs they had done before on their earlier tours. The little girls were climbing over their chairs. Okay, they had sheets tied together. They were climbing down from the mezzanine at Public Hall. Okay, so when the cops realized what was going on, it was too late. They were pretty much overpowered. These girls and boys were rushing onto the stage to get the Beatles, and they had to chase the Beatles off stage, and they stopped the concert. The mayor of Cleveland, Mayor Ralph Locher, decided that's not the way little girls should behave in public. So Mayor Ralph Locher and the City Council of Cleveland banned all rock and roll shows from Cleveland after that, which is funny to me because now we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But in 1964, 1965, rock and roll was banned from the city of Cleveland. The fact is that Cleveland was so different than the other places because both shows were stopped by riots. You look at the films of New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, some of these bigger places where the police security really stopped the kids. They couldn't get near the stage. In Cleveland, for some reason, it's rock and roll. It's Cleveland. The fans, go wild. They've always been like that.